Yeah, soon after this, I think at 1:30, about an ICO or initial coin offering type of company. But I'm an entrepreneur. I've been involved in a couple of different businesses that I've taken and built to quite large scale businesses over the last 25 years, before having come from a very large Fortune 500 company for 10 years before that. So I respect what large businesses look like, but I also respect that as an entrepreneur, you can't start up at the top. You have to work your way up. And I think that what I'm a big believer in is some of the things I've heard around here. One is portfolio investing, because I'm also an investor. I've partly invested in real estate. I'm a big believer in the stratospheric idea that if you've got something that's novel and is good for the world, that you may or may not succeed at taking there, but you'll inch the world toward more success. I'm on hard surfaces, and is 90 pathogens in hospitals. Operating in 4 different hospitals right now, and they just got an order for another 2,000 bed hospital, all in the US right now. But this is world-leading stuff, and it's human-friendly, and it could change our entire world, because I don't know about most of you, but many of us are afraid to walk into a hospital as a healthy person just to visit, because we walk out less healthy than we are. And so that's, to what was said earlier, that's real innovative. That's something that's world-changing, and I believe in that. But not exclusively. I wouldn't invest everything I have in just that. I wouldn't invest everything I have just in real estate, because the returns are good, but they're not great. And I do now have an investment in a blockchain-related company. And I'm a believer in that, and not because I'm going to change the world the way I think that this infectious disease control company is, but because I think I can move the needle. And there's nothing wrong with that. My business experience goes back to coming out of university the same year that the IBM PC was introduced to the market. Now we hold our phones, and some of them have a terabyte of memory in them and do things that we never even believed in back in the early 1980s. But it didn't go from one to the other. You had to keep moving the needle. And so what we're doing, and I'll be talking about it more, and I won't say much now, is we're looking at moving the needle in the way that the ICO business is working, and this alternate form of funding that finds itself somewhere between equity financing and debt financing. It has a very real place. Finding a way to operate as a global currency to allow companies, as we were discussing earlier, who have difficulty because of political risk in doing business with people in other countries that they love to do business with, but the banks don't want to do business with each other. And so there's all kinds of risk there. And those are the types of needles that I think we can move. So I think there is a place for the types of things that blockchain is trying to do, but it's not going to be a success overnight. It takes time. And if you're in a company that can do one thing, and I only invest in companies that do this, if we don't think we can make profit in the very first year, and every project that we take on, we're not going to take it on, because the world will pay a price for innovation. But innovation doesn't always have to be world-changing. It can be incremental, and it can be better. And the final version on that I'll talk about is when software was just getting going, when Windows was coming out, and Apple already had it. Windows would introduce version 6, but they already had version 9 going in their lab. But they didn't wait until they perfected version 9 to get to market. They took version 6 to market, knowing that next year they were bringing version 7 and 8 and 9. And you have to go to market, you have to generate revenue, you have to generate profit. And if you can create a sustainable company, then you've got something great. But don't put all your eggs in any one basket. So that's my philosophy on investing in where the world is going.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Hello, everyone.